We got the cap off and the truck is going sans top, and I'm working a little bit right now on the fixing the fender up. There's a couple rust spots coming through. This is getting a little bit, you see it, a little rusty, so I put some Rust-Oleum to it. There's this inner plastic fender. I busted one of the bolts off right here. Whoops. And this is the fender. I thought I'd go with the, there's a difference here. With the stock fender, here's my repair. Did another little repair here. Doesn't that look cute? Flux core welding. And it's already rusting, so I'm going to have to wire brush it and give it a little coat of primer. This is the difference with the, this is the 4x4 86 fender. See, it has more of a flare. I was going to use this fender, but it's flared out. It comes out, you see it? Quite a bit more of a flare. And it's also pretty denty. I didn't want to use it. I might have another 86 or 87. I know where I can get one for a couple $100, but it's rusty, so at least the cab's rusty, so I'm still pondering if I want to get involved in that disaster. Love the truck, I just hate rust because you have to do stuff like that. Alright, I'm gonna put this on and go from there. Just got the tire off right here with all my punky old tools and working on getting this fender on. I've already broke a bolt off in here, so I need a new specialized bolt. Played with that for about an hour and got nowhere. So I'm going to take a little break from it so I don't get mad and smash something, I guess. And looking at these brakes, these are certainly getting pretty not safe, you know. They're all, the rotors are worn, and the back, I don't know if you can see it, kind of punky on the back too. So my pedal's not so great right now. So I'm thinking about putting my other rotors and brake shoes on. So we're going to do that. And I have it on a jack that looks precarious, but always use a jack stand so you don't get crushed, you know. The other thing I'd probably say is on the back, always have a block of wood or something so it doesn't roll back, which you see I haven't got. And so right now I'm gonna try to spray some fluid on all the nuts here and get them loosened up. And maybe I'll I got my wire wheel brush here, isn't it? Maybe I could, you know, like, clean this up, right? I'm thinking about doing something like that. A little loose, but clean it up and spray it down with some oil. And this is another thing that's interesting. Look at that, that's totally broken. Something to do with the stabilizer bar. So I've got to get that fixed. I'm out of my acetylene for my torches, and it looks like I need to heat it up maybe, but maybe not. We'll see. Pretty punky in here. The word of the day is punky, like punky chicken. Alright, I'll take another shot when I have some of this apart. Right here, maybe here's part of the problem with my brakes. It looks like there's some fluid here, and it's leaking just a little bit right here onto the piston that pulls out here. So I'm losing some fluid there just a little bit, so maybe I'd want to replace that, look into replacing that. And I have my Persuader, the old Craftsman here, but I can't find the big half-inch drive, so on to plan B. I have a big old pipe. If you don't have anything, just use a big old pipe and a little 1/4-inch drive. It's a Husky drive. And you just work it down like here, and you can get it if you really try. And also as well, I'd recommend this product. PB Blaster is a must if you have to pull this out. The pads are getting kind of thin, so I'm gonna pull this whole thing off to replace the rotor. That's what we're doing. And I already lubricated this down. I had stain on the brush, so that should be interesting. Deck stain and oil. Cool. So right here you have a comparison. This is the old rotor, and the backside wasn't so hot either. And this is the new rotor. It's got a little rust on it, but it's not bad at all. And I've bolted on the new caliper, so it all turns and it works. And I don't know, maybe I'm gonna see if this, hopefully that's all right. I'm not sure if some grease leaked on that or not, but I've got to pull this back, and so I have to get a what do you call those things? Oh, there's some other brake parts. Get a persuader, a vise right here to pull back that the piston, and I'll get the piston pulled back. I'll usually run a bar across it, or I can run it right on the edge here and pull it back and bolt it up. Make sure all the bolts are, you know, I put some heavy duty wheel bearing grease in. But it's got that look of a backyard mechanic now. I've got all my tools strewn all over the place. So I've been a busy little beaver with my Smurf mobile. So you've got the vise on it, a little piece of metal, and I'm putting pressure on this piston to go back in so it can accommodate the new larger, well, not brand new, but newer brake pads, which are probably about half used up. And so I keep turning this, and the piston goes all the way back in. And you're supposed to bleed the brakes, but I think the bleeders are frozen up on this truck. So one thing you could do is you could try to negotiate them off and get some new bleeder screws, because it's good to bleed your brakes. And I'm doing all this because that rear end was okay on this truck. It was a universal, and that failed because it wasn't greased properly. So that's something I'm doing now, is greasing my universal bearings, because that beats us rocking the old socks. Okay, it's all put together, sweet as pie. I just had this off and it turns easily, so I'm going to absolutely bleed the brakes. So if there's an air pocket, I'll get the air pocket out, or a bubble or something. I'll get it out. And it's all together. It's a little tight, but it does turn. There it comes. All together. Now, the only other question is these ball joints right in. Would you replace this ball joint with the torn piece of plastic around it? Or should I just lubricate it? I'm going to put some more joint grease in there, but I don't know about what creates a fail on a ball joint, but I know it's pretty much a really bad deal when they fail. Your tire comes off and you crash into things and wipe out. So upper and lower ball joints, this is the upper one, and the lower one's down there, if you see it or not. Anyhow, that's all pretty much for this side. I'm gonna bleed it out and put the tire back on, but I'm gonna probably stabilize the front and start on the other side, which I haven't even begun. That's the fun of auto mechanics. Toyota time. And at the end of the day, I find it's good to take assessment of what you have. This is the brake equipment here, and these are my humble tools. I clean them up a little bit and I make some sense of them. All this, you know, pretty much was about all these tools over my whole life. There's nothing that exotic about them. Sometimes I found things at auctions or a sale, but they're all handy tools, and you could certainly, you know, a pair of air tools would be better, but a couple hammers, you know, the vise. You got your cheap Walmart lubricant and your PB blaster, your various sockets, metric for a foreign car, and these are really handy, needle nooses, and I found these actually at the town dump. Somebody dumped them on the ground and I just picked them up. Very handy. But it's always good to have all these tools available, including your Ryobi piece of garbage wire brush drill. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll be doing the other side pretty soon, I hope.